Hello everyone, AV Ultima here, bringing you some more Battlefield 3 multiplayer gameplay on Grand Bazaar. This is the Conquest version, and today it'll consist mainly of me in a vehicle, or me driving a vehicle. If you're having any troubles on Grand Bazaar, or just having troubles driving the LAV, then this is a good video for you to watch. But I'll be talking mainly about the reasons why I order the classes the way I do, from most effective to least: engineer, assault, support, recon. I'll say why in more depth, really. My reasons are mainly how effective are they to the team. So, why is engineer so effective? Well, it can kill enemies very effectively. It can compare well with the assault weapons. I think the engineer weapons pack a bit more punch, but have more recoil and higher rates of fire. So I might have trouble managing it, but they're very good weapons, and they can compare very well. They can destroy vehicles with ease, and repair vehicles, either using the blowtorch or the EOD bot, which can also plant and defuse bombs, not to mention kill people if you wanted to with it. And if you use the explosive specialization, you get a total of 10 rockets for the engineer class, which is extremely good, not only for destroying vehicles, but also for anti-infantry. And you double as what every person doubles in Battlefield 3 as a mobile spawn, and usually the engineer class is on the front lines with the assault and support. Now, assault is second in the list because its usefulness is lower than the engineer class. It has very good gunplay. Its weapons are a bit weaker than the engineer class, but have low recoil and high rates of fire. And its main ability is to revive and heal units. If you switch out your medic bag for the grenade launcher, it gives you more firepower, and adding on the grenade specialization, it kind of doubles as what the engineer can do, but more anti-infantry. But what's better, reviving or destroying vehicles? Well, if you're getting killed by a vehicle, and then you get revived, and you get killed again, then revived, wouldn't it be better just to be an engineer to just kill that vehicle who's killing on your teammates? But, you know, it's mainly situational, especially on the map Operation Metro. The assault actually takes precedence over everything because there are no vehicles on it, and since it's mainly close quarters, assault works well in almost all ranges, so being able to revive is good. But that's just Operation Metro, and I believe that's the only map with that style. So, it's really situational what's better, destroying vehicles or reviving teammates. It's somewhat equal, but I think the destroying vehicles is a bit higher, since vehicles is a main reason why people win in games. As you can see in this one, the LAV is, and the driver is being very effective on this map, and we capture a lot of points, and I don't know, we end up coming back. Now the third is support. Well, it kind of ties with the recon class, but the support wins because it can be a better role up front. The recon class is, of course, better at medium to long ranges, so it's not as effective to the team if it can't be up front, providing spawns and things like that. So the support can be very effective on the front lines because of its heavy weapon and the amount of rounds it can put on an enemy at a certain time. But yes, some supports do use the mortar, which can be bad because that does not make you a mobile spawn. You're sitting in the back, kind of doing what a recon does and taking out few guys at long ranges. But the mortar does better than what a sniper rifle's weapon can do, because the mortar has unlimited amounts of ammo and can suppress the enemy a lot, and has very good splash damage, mainly used for shotgun AW. So the mortar can really put high effects on infantry, more than the sniper can do. The support can also work as a pseudo recon in that it can see a whole range of the map. If you haven't used a mortar, when you place it down, you're able to see like a really blown up map, and every time someone is spotted, you're able to shoot a mortar at them. So if you haven't used it already, it's pretty neat. So it kind of works like a pseudo recon, as I said. But of course, the recon at its long ranges can, if it's at a better position than the infantry up front, can spot enemies well, which is why it's called the recon, because it's really meant for, I guess, spotting guys, not really meant for getting large amounts of kills, dying less, mainly, and for spotting enemies. That's why it's given the UAV. If you saw my last game on Dam of Van Peak, you'll notice every time we were attacking the objective, one of the recons in our team were using a UAV to spot out almost everyone on their team, which was a huge help to myself and I assume everyone else on our team. So I think it helped us a lot. So your use for the team really increases if you're doing something to help them. For example, like if you're back in the middle of nowhere sniping guys at long ranges, you know, going 10-1 on a team that's attacking, you haven't really helped the team that much. You maybe have saved a few guys by spotting them out, but you know, it's very low use. And that's why recon's on the bottom. You know, it's logical stuff, right? I have nothing against it. It's just, you know, the other classes are more useful if you're trying to win. No, yes, you can have fun. This game isn't all about competitiveness. If you're having fun, do whatever you want, but to everyone else who wants to play competitively and win, being a recon class is not the best class for you. You want to be either engineer, assault, and support, because that can work at mostly all ranges. So, yeah. As I said in my tips and tricks video, you can use the recon to use one of the general weapons, for example, the shotgun, what are they called? Personal defense weapons, like the PDWR and the UMP can be used, and then you can run up front and place some mobile spawns. That's pretty good, but if you're going to be on the front lines anyway, you might as well be an assault because they're way more effective up there. The general weapons are good, but I don't think you can compare very well with the weapons of the actual classes. And besides, if you're on the front line anyway, you yourself is a mobile spawn, so you don't really need to place one of your own. The mobile spawn is meant mainly to place at a sniper's camping point, so if he does get, I don't know, counter-sniped, he can spawn right away back at his camping spot and start re-sniping. I think that's the main use of the mobile spawn, not really placing it up on the front because you yourself are already a spawn. I hope I maybe clarified why I think the recon is on the bottom and engineer is on the top. Like I said, nothing personal against the classes. It's okay if that's your favorite class. If you have reasons why you use the recon or you think it should be on top, post them down below. Post your strategies. You know, it'll help me out. You know, and it'll help other people that see your comments. So please post them if you do have some logical strategies to use for the recon, like the Russian recon or the recon that uses UAVs. Now, when using a UAV, yes, you do not get that many kills. A mortar, you may not use that many kills, but how much it helps the team is significantly high because UAV can spot out enemies very nicely. Mortar can suppress and have a great shock and awe. So even though you're not getting kills, it just helps the team in a way you may not see. As long as you're helping the team, it's okay if you don't get kills. Just always, you know, strive to plant the bomb and spot enemies out and things like that. Yeah, I hope that clears some stuff up for people. I hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay so far. If you're not really into LAV or mainly vehicle gameplay, then I guess it might be turning you off, but you'll be surprised how effective vehicles are. I was really surprised. Usually when I play Grand Bazaar, I'm on the ground. You know, it doesn't feel like a vehicle map, right? Since most of it is close quarters and things like that, but surprisingly, the vehicle, the way the map is laid out, it's like a square with random entryways in the middle. So you just use the vehicle to take the outer rim, which is a square, and I think that consists of where we are now, which is D. You can capture A and I think C. So that's 3 or 4 places that you can capture just using the LAV, and I think 1 or 2 Humvees spawn for each team, so it's very handy. And if used correctly, it can help you win the game. I think this whole time we're down by 50 to 100 points, and I think being in the vehicle really helps us out a lot. We've actually gone over the same areas quite a few times and done a lot of damage. Vehicles can do so much more than what just a human can do, or an infantryman can do. By the way, I will be posting my scores of actually the game after this one, and the game after that one. Just to, mainly for showing off, I'm not gonna lie, but those were also vehicle gameplay, and I think I made a pretty good difference just being in those vehicles. Now, as you may have noticed from this guy's driving, which his name is RU Warlord, that was really the main driver I was noticing, and he was doing some great work. If you're watching right now, RU Warlord, great job, kudos to you. He's driving very sporadically. Now here I don't remember if we get taken out or not, but you know, you get taken out sometime. He's always moving back and forth, even when we're in that tight space right there at, I think it was called the square. He was moving back and forth, planting down smokes, and not staying in one spot. It's very hard for engineers to really get a bead on you when you're moving back and forth, because, you know, rockets do have sometimes a long flight time, so if you can move back and forth and just jostle the engineers a little bit, you can stay alive just that much longer to help your team win. And this is a very good example. And this can be done in any vehicle, not just the LAVs. And just in case you didn't know, you can hold shift, which makes vehicles move faster. Just so you guys know. And I do, you know, repair vehicles. I think I was getting pretty fond of them because they were helping us out a lot in this game, so anytime I saw one that needed repairing, I wanted to jump out and try to help. A really huge thing I noticed is that some guys in vehicles kind of stay in one spot for too long, and then somehow mortars are able to hone in on us. I've seen that in a lot of games. But even though it only does, I think mortars to a vehicle do about 10 or 20 damage, depending on the vehicle you're driving. And it can be very jostling to the driver and passengers. It brings up smoke and it's hard to see, so you need to be moving. See, right there was an example. I just got killed by a mortar that was targeting vehicles. So you don't want to stay in one spot if you can help it. Always be moving so things like mortars cannot get a bead on you. Now, one thing I did not mention in my tips and tricks video, which could have been a great addition, could have been an extra 1 to 2 minutes, was squad tactics and team tactics. Unfortunately, it's really hard to mention all tactics and situations, as, you know, things change all the time in Battlefield, and I can't really mention everything that happens, but as a squad, you know, it just makes things easier for you. Just use the same tactics you use as moving with one person. Just use it collectively. Like my reposition and reacquire tactic, just do that with 4 people. Mainly the people in front need to check more than the people in back. Like going into a building, you want the first 1 or 2 guys to check corners, because there's been many times where I've run into an area and I think it's safe because, you know, teammates ran in before me, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately, and that happens sometimes. So even if they're not on your squad, if you're the first one to enter your building, make sure you check every corner, just, you know, to help your team out. It's very good to do that. What should your squad composition be? Meaning, what classes should you use for, if you have 3 other friends, what classes should you guys be? Well, I usually go, if I have 3 friends with me, 3 assaults and 2 engineers. That's a very good composition to use. If any of the engineers go down, you can be easily revived, and if there are any vehicles around, they can be easily destroyed. If you're playing on a map like Operation Metro, as I said, there are no vehicles on that map, so you can just be 4 assaults, which is very, very good if you guys stick together. And speaking of sticking together, never stay in one, like, small blob, because you can be taken out very easily by an explosion or get sprayed at. So you want to kind of spread out a little bit if you're moving through the battlefield. But most of this stuff is pretty obvious, right? It's never bad to just refresh your minds. Keep that in mind, you know. Visualize yourself doing it. As you can see, I am back in the LAV with the same guy, RU Warlord, and the game has been remotely close this whole time. When I first joined, I think we were losing by about 100 or 150 points, and I think just being in the LAV got us to this point we are now. And there are quite a few close calls. I don't think could have done this well without the LAV. I'm not sure of the exact, what's it called? The air-to-ground missile? That is very handy. If you don't know, even if you're an LAV, LAVs can take out tanks if they have that air-to-ground missile, because it does significant damage. I think more than an RPG does. So if you're an LAV going up against a tank, definitely consider equipping that missile. It doesn't only work against aircraft, but also ground vehicles, as you saw back there when we took out that Humvee. We have finally pulled away here. I think this is the first time we've been in a remotely significant lead. And we did well. Whole team did well. Coming back from that 150 point deficit. Now, if you guys don't already know, I do have a Facebook and a Twitter account. They're in the description. It'd be great if you guys could follow me at either one. If you're really dedicated, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and subscribe to me on YouTube. That'd be crazy. Well, just for a little treat, I am going to show my scores for the next 2 games where I was in a LAV. And I believe I go 20-0 at one point before I actually die. And then the game after that was on Operation Firestorm, where I'm using a anti-air gun. Oh my goodness, anti-air guns are so overpowered. I'm not even joking, those things are so good. Oh my gosh. So, if you guys ever get a chance, use that anti-air gun and learn how to use it. So good. Anti-vehicle, anti-infantry, anti-everything. And even the latest patch, they increased the power of that thing. So, I don't know what they were thinking. But, oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said, be sure to like the video, favorite, and subscribe. My name is AV Ultima, and I'll see you guys next time.